Hey, welcome to this shortwave radio channel. One of the things that there was a question today, and it's a question I get from time to time about having an antenna inside. Um, that's a touchy one because the biggest problem of having an antenna inside is that usually inside is where we have all the noise. And what happens is that we just get noise and nothing more. And also, it has to do with another factor. What is your house built with? Is it concrete? Is it a wooden house? Is these change completely what you will hear and if it's going to work. And then, of course, there's all the side of okay, do you live in a condo? Then there could be a lot of other apartments around you, which means even more noise from the neighbors that you can't do anything about. So that's where having an antenna indoors is complex. Back in the good old days of when I was a teenager, once again, back in the 80s, noise wasn't much of a problem back then. 60s, 70s, 80s, noise was not that much of a problem. What we would do is we'd just set up wires inside and it would work. I remember putting, 50, 60 feet of wire as long as I could on the ceiling where I lived back then. And man, I'd get great reception. Of course, then I wanted to have antennas that were outdoors because that was even better. But, it was a pretty much a wooden house. It's like here. Here it's made in 1950. It's made of wood and brick. It doesn't block really the radio waves in general. It's not like one of those more modern like condo houses or apartment complex that might be made of concrete, which block a lot of the signals. So what is your house made of? Is the first answer. The second thing is what antenna and how could you set it up? Today the question was interesting because the what happened there was I tried different antennas indoors and just doesn't seem to work. And there's a good chance it might never work, simply because there's too much noise indoors. So you put wires and no, it doesn't work. What I would try for anybody wanting to do indoor antennas is you could try wires, try different rooms. Try them in the kitchen, in the living room, in the bedroom, whatever. See if one room is less noisy than others. An example here, my kitchen. The kitchen is my least noisy room of all the house, of all the apartment. My living room, depending on where I am, could be okay, but definitely the kitchen is where it's all happening. So you might find one room better than the others. The other thing that you could do is if a wire doesn't work. I know that a lot of viewers with quite a lot of success in some cases have an MLA30 magnetic loop, and they put it in the window, and they seem to have decent reception and not too bad of a noise level. I gotta warn you, if you do buy one, it's not a guarantee that it might work. There are people that even with the MLA30, it's just so noisy that even an MLA30 is still noisy. But it's probably your best bet. If a wire doesn't work, try a magnetic loop like the MLA30. It's not too expensive. And if that doesn't work, then you're probably in one of those, apartments or houses that you'll never be able to work it out well indoors with a radio. Same with a question or a comment I had on the channel yesterday. Somebody purchased a XH Data D808. I'm sorry, guys. So XH Data D808. And the comment that he put on the channel was simply, I don't get anything. I get nothing, literally nothing. And is His thought was the radio's broken, and my thought was, no, the radio's probably fine. It's one of those cases where a portable radio with a telescopic antenna indoors just ain't gonna work for you. So my comment and my suggestion was, well, if you could go outside with the radio or go to a park, bring it along and try a scan there. There's a good chance you'll see that, oh, look at that, here I'm receiving tons of signals. Problem with that is, of course, if you buy a shortwave radio and you want to have the leisure of using it indoors and, being in your favorite sofa in the living room and here comes the world, for a lot of us, that is not happening. And there are options, like I said, outdoor antennas and stuff that might actually make it happen. Some of you are lucky enough to have that happen, but for a lot of us, it ain't happening like that. I'm not sitting in my favorite chair in the living room listening to Radio New Zealand in the summer. I'll be at specific spots where it's coming in, or outdoors, or so. It is interesting to check out, but test it out. But definitely indoor antennas, because I know that a lot of people just can't put anything outside because neighborhood's going to go crazy, neighbor's going to go crazy, and so on. Unfortunately, yeah, sometimes your only choice is maybe to do this. But remember that stealth antennas are kind of easy to make. You put a big plant outside. I bet you if you put a big sturdy plant outside and put an MLA30 in it, nobody's going to ever notice you have an antenna. That would be my trick. Would be that I'd bring some big plant and put the MLA30 in it so that it just doesn't show that there's an antenna. But yeah, indoor antennas are kind of a tough one, especially today with all the noise, all the electronics we have, and like I said, depending on how it's constructed. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.